As a college freshman, you come into school and you don't know many people and you're looking to make new friends. At UMass, some of my closest friends that I've made this year are from the RAP.
I'm here knocking at your door. It's 2 in the morning.
So I found my roommate, Lauren, through Spire. Then I contacted her on Facebook, and through our messages we seemed to be very similar, had a lot of things in common. I didn't know her at all. She's from New York, totally different state. She was more athletic in sports, and she just had kind of a different lifestyle than I did. So it was kind of neat to compare my life with hers and still find similarities. So we kind of bring out the best in each other.
Being in the Comm RAP made it a lot easier to do group projects together simply because we all lived on the same floor. We were able to work at any hours of the day. It wasn't inconvenient for someone living, across campus or just in a different building in Southwest. We're all right on the same floor. We could do it in our pajamas, do it in the morning, like anytime. And in the beginning of the semester, when we had those group presentations for the first Comm 118, we had to summarize a chapter of the book all together, and we didn't know anyone, so we were put in random groups, and when it came to be my group's time, we all went down to the Cant's Lounge, we brainstormed and got to know each other at the same time, had fun with each other, and we decided to make a movie. So the filming process was even easier because we were all on the same floor, we could film anytime we wanted, and we had a lot of variety of settings. We weren't just confined to like one dorm, we had lots of dorms, hallways, everywhere, and we just had a lot of fun in the process, and it just overall made it easier to work together.
Okay, I liked about the Comm RAP that there's a bunch of people on your floor who are in the same classes, so if you need to talk about studying or homework that you missed or something, they're just right down the hall to talk to.
It's easy to make friends when you're in the RAP because you see them both in class and in the dorm because you live on the same floor as them. You're able to work with them academically on homework, to study the tests together, so you get to know them that way, and you're also able to go out with them socially to dinner because it's convenient because you're closely living together.
I have found personally, having taken large lectures and smaller classrooms, that the RAP classes are really, it's more of a smaller, intimate, setting. So it really is a lot easier to learn. It's a lot less intimidating when it comes to participation and asking questions, things like that. You get to know your teacher, so it really makes the learning experience a lot easier.
In a lecture hall, you don't have this ability because there's hundreds of people in your lecture hall. You don't necessarily live with them, and you may not meet them, and after the lecture is over, once the class has finished, you may never see them again. With a RAP, you have it both first and second semester, so it continues the frequency of seeing the people.
Yeah, coming to UMass is really intimidating at first because there's 25,000 students here, and in your high school usually there's 2,000 or less. So you're used to the smaller classes already, and then jumping into these huge lectures of 300 plus can be really intimidating. So by having the Comm RAP, we're able to have our intro comm classes in a small setting where you can really get to know the professor, and it's really good because you can ask questions and feel comfortable and know all the people around you, so you can, if you don't understand something, you can always shoot a question at one of your classmates.
Taking Comm 118 in a RAP course was very beneficial. One, because you were able to, it is a mandatory course and you're able to make sure that you get into it. On the other hand, if you were in a regular communications major, you'd probably be on the waiting list. Second, you're also able to learn in more close-knit groups, and that also helps when doing group projects, and it's more fun, unlike a lecture hall where there's 300 people and you're not able to do such small groups.
Last semester, we learned how to communicate on a bunch of different levels with friends, family, boys, girls, relationship kind of levels, teacher, student, and also work-related relationships. And after taking Comm 118, it's really helpful for your everyday life because at UMass you interact with so many different kinds of people, different lifestyles, different ages, different statuses, and it's good to know how to communicate with others when you're in the major. So it's just a really helpful class to take in.
Interpersonal communication was a class where we learned to communicate through different models and how they apply to real life, but doing it in the Comm RAP specifically was a lot more fun and easy because we were allowed to actually apply the models to use, where in a lecture the professor will say it and that's basically all you'll get to know through it, but here we're able to hear it and then actually apply it and have a better understanding so that when we go out and to our careers we'll have a advantage over the rest because we actually have already used it.
In Comm 121, when I learned about Disney's and the effects, I really learned about how there are some messages hidden in Disney movies that made me really think about, oh my god, I never realized that until now. For example, the images of women. The Disney princesses were always skinny and beautiful, and I didn't really notice that and the effects of it until later in life when I'm in college, when I noticed that all girls want to try to be beautiful and use sexuality.
One of the major theories that we learned in this course was George Gunner's cultivation theory. So cultivation theory is over time how media influences the way we think and our perception of the world.
So I really get to have hands-on experiments on the topics that were covered, such as the propaganda model. It made me really aware of the media around us, and whenever I watch TV or read a paper, it makes you realize about the ads that were funding it, and it just made me aware of how much it influences our daily lives.